SITREP World Briefing for July 19, 2026. The United States said it struck targets in Iran linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps after a deadly exchange that followed attacks on U.S. forces in Jordan and reported attacks involving Kuwait. U.S. Central Command described the latest operation as part of an extended campaign, with the new strikes hitting Revolutionary Guard-linked sites after 2 U.S. service members were killed in Jordan. Iran said it had fired drones at the U.S. military in Kuwait. The action marked the 8th consecutive night of U.S. strikes on Iran, indicating a shift from isolated retaliation to a sustained military response. Iranian officials and state media reported threats of broader action and infrastructure being targeted around the Gulf theater. The Revolutionary Guard is central to Iran's regional military posture, and U.S. decisions to strike its linked assets inside Iran increase the stakes by moving the conflict deeper into Iranian territory. Russia launched a major overnight ballistic missile attack on Kyiv, Ukraine. Ukrainian authorities said the attack caused deaths and injuries. The strike involved the use of ballistic missiles against the capital more than 4 years into the full-scale war. The attack came a day after a Ukrainian drone strike hit e-commerce warehouses near Moscow. Kyiv holds political, military, and symbolic importance as Ukraine's capital. Repeated missile attacks there are intended to damage infrastructure and test air defenses and civilian warning systems. Sunday's strike showed how compressed warning times can be when ballistic missiles are used, leaving residents with only moments to react. The latest strike reinforces the central role of missile defense around Kyiv, where government institutions, command structures, and dense residential districts make every large-scale attack strategically significant. For Russia, combining retaliation messaging with high-visibility strikes on the capital allows Moscow to signal reach and pressure. The immediate consequence in Kyiv was another night of emergency response and disrupted shelter access. Hungarian President Tamás Sulyok agreed to end his mandate after Parliament in Budapest, Hungary, backed his removal and gave him until Saturday night to accept the outcome. Sulyok then signed the 17th Amendment to Hungary's fundamental law, a step that formally set the end of his presidency for the day after the amendment takes effect. Sulyok's departure is politically significant because he was widely seen as loyal to former Prime Minister Viktor Orbán's system of power, rather than to the current governing camp. Orbán lost office in April 2026 after 16 years in power, and Hungary is now led by Prime Minister Péter Magyar and his TISA party, reshaping the balance between the presidency, parliament, and the government in Budapest. The amendment that Sulyok signed means the change will be carried out through Hungary's constitutional framework, turning a parliamentary vote into a binding end to the president's term. Sources and the full written briefing are available at sitrepbrief.com.